it's Julie. I have some exciting newness for you today. I have been waiting to have time to show you all the new things that Seint has just come out with. I love it when Seint releases new products because they're always innovative. They are always top-notch quality products. I believe our owner, Cara Brooke, she has really great taste. I love the packaging of the Seint lineup of products. And just a background on what history I have with makeup and such. I used to be a Dior makeup artist. I used to be a counter manager back in the day, late 90s, early 2000s. I worked for Dior. It was like my favorite brand of makeup. And I just became accustomed to luxury products pretty early on. I was in my 20s. And I love Dior still to this day. And it was when I started teaching, I'm an elementary art teacher, that I had a friend that taught first grade. And she invited me to try what was then known as mascara beauty. She invited me to try mascara beauty. And I fell in love with the cream formula here because this gives a glow like no other. This makeup, now formerly known as Seint, they changed their name, is my favorite makeup. I don't know if it's because I'm aging, I'm older, but Seint is the foundation for me. I've tried other things. Actually, I've tried the Dior foundation stick recently, and I just didn't like it as much as Seint. It's not that it's a bad foundation. Dior has beautiful products. They are a little pricey because you're paying for a fashion designer house brand name makeup. So I don't usually reach for that like I used to. When you have something that simulates that luxury experience from a brand like Seint, you don't need to spend that kind of money. So today what we will be talking about is we're going to be talking about the Mother's Day collection that just launched for artists. I am an artist with Seint, an affiliate. So that means that you can become my customer, my clientele. You can earn rewards on all your purchases. So you get like credits and points that you can use towards like gifts that are exclusive to our rewards membership. And then you can also get like coupons off of your purchases. So I'd love for you to be my client. I'm going to leave a link below where you can order anything from this video or anything Seint, and then I get credit for your purchases. I know that the industry is saturated with affiliates, so if you like the content, please like and subscribe. Okay, I would love that. So we're going to do an HD or a 4K rather resolution demonstration of everything new for Mother's Day. Okay, I've got the prices at the top of my head just in case someone wants to know. But let's start by finishing up my makeup. I have on my foundation, I have on my brows, I have a little bit of primer on my lid, ready to try the, what is this called? Oh no, I forgot the name of it. Sugar collection, I believe. I'll have to look it up. It's called, it's not Sugar and Spice because that would be fall. Is it sugar sweet, sweet sugar, soft sugar? Oh, one thing I forgot to look up is the name of this product. So I will put that in the description below. Something sugar collection. So what this is a curated collection of our products for Mother's Day. And they're really beautifully thought out. First of all, I already had the case. So this is a beautiful, gorgeous ombre style, kind of like a glossy finished case. These are super easy to clean. I always go for the glossy finishes on our cases because they're super easy to clean. We do have more of a matte paper finish on some of the other palettes that we sell. So if you're not familiar with Seint does allow you to choose your palettes. So we have different sizes. We have some that have one layer, some that have two. But this is a gorgeous new palette. I'll have to put the name of this palette if you wanted to purchase this by itself in the description below. But with this Mother's Day sugar collection, you will get the palette with this golden logo on top, which I love. I hope they do more of this because I really love this version of our logo. This is my favorite. If you notice, it's kind of a creamy color. It's got a shiny finish, and then there's like this strip of gray ombre down the center. Super easy to clean. This is a double tiered palette. I dropped this and my powder kind of busted, so try not to drop these, but this is always a recommendation I have for customers. Is never put your powders, like your eyeshadows and your face powders, on the same layer as your cream makeup, which is exactly what I did, because the powder kind of sprinkles over those products. So just wanted to show you that. But here is the collection. This is the Sugar collection for Mother's Day, and it has beautiful like pinky nude colors. There's 2 matte colors, and then there's 2 like sheen colors. I don't call them shimmer because I don't want to scare people away. They're very beautifully worn on the eyelid. And then we have Bella Bronzer, which is a beautiful bronzer. I've recently been in Sephora and tried out some of the luxury bronzing powders that are on the market, and they don't hold a candle to our Bella Bronzer. There's also a bronzer that we sell called Xanadu, which is a blend of bronzer and shimmer, and I love that one. That's the one I currently love. But this one was the OG, the original Seint bronzer that became very popular. This is Boardwalk Lip Gloss. It's a lip and cheek color that has a sheen to it. Beautiful color. I think it pairs nicely with the eyeshadow collection. We have the Balm lip product, which is great for hydrating lips. It can also be used under the eyes as a primer for concealer. It can be used on the eyelid to make eyeshadows more pigmented. You can use it on your brows. It is a multi-purpose moisturizing balm. It's gorgeous. And then we have Angel Illuminator, which is a high shine sheen illuminator that goes at the top of your cheeks, wherever you want that illumination. So I had these products previously. I did not buy the new Mother's Day palette, but these are the exact colors that you would get if you were to buy the Mother's Day palette. So how much is this palette? How much is this collection of colors? It's $99, which I think is a really good value, because these cases can be like 28, 30 bucks. And then your lip and cheek colors are about $14. So 14 times 4, what is that? 56 if I'm doing the math correctly. So that's already getting up near 80 or 90 bucks. And then you get these eyeshadows. So it's a really good value. You are saving money by just jumping in and buying the palette. So let's try it on. And then what else I have to share with you today is our new launches for lips. They are our lip, good Lord, I didn't look up the names of these products. They're not a lip oil. They're not a lip stain. They're a lip jelly or something like that. Again, I'm going to look up the name of the products. I'm sure it's on the label in here. I just always get really excited and I forget to look up these things. I thought I was doing a good job today because I looked up the prices. So let's start with our eyes today. So right now I have on a couple of products for my face. If you've watched my previous videos, we had been doing a review of the Dior Stick Foundation. So the Dior Stick Foundation, I don't have it with me right now, but it is a viral foundation product, and I put it in my T-zone. Okay, so nose, inner cheeks, chin, and this forehead. Wherever I get really shiny and lose makeup, that's where I put it. I do like to pair the Dior Forever line, so that could be their liquid, that could be the stick foundation. I like to pair that with the Seint because I love Seint everywhere else, but in the summertime, you will notice, you know, you get really shiny because Seint is for mature skin. I mean, it can be worn by younger people as well. It's great for everybody, but it does have a little bit more glow. So some people that are really oily might find that they need something for their T-zone. So I like to pair up the Dior Forever lineup of products with my Seint. But I don't like to use Dior all over because it is so matte. And what happens is in these drier areas, it will accentuate like pores, hairs, and so forth. Actually, I did do a little bit of face dermaplaning. I believe that's what it's called, where you shave the hairs off your face. I did a little bit of that this morning. So I have on the Dior stick foundation in 2.5 neutral. And then I have on June, which is our cream foundation. It's called a highlight. They're not really illuminators, but it's called highlight. Our foundations are called highlights. And what they do is they accentuate, you know, the planes of your face. So I use June that blends in with my jawline. I use June up here. I use it kind of on the outer edges of the face. So what I need to do right now is I need to do my eyes. And by the way, I have on Cedar contour. I wanted to try that today because I like the olive contour, and they're very similar. They're very similar. Cedar is just a little bit warmer. So let's go ahead and start with an eye. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to use Sis. This is called Sis eyeshadow. It's a gorgeous, like pinky foiled eyeshadow. And I love to use our Seint double-ended eyeshadow brush. Now we have several eyeshadow brushes. There's one that's a little bit chunkier, but this is great for precision. It has a blending side and it has a more precision bullet tip side. This is great for smaller eyes as well. Great for people that like to use more than one color on the eye. So I'm going to use this and I'm going to go into Sis. So let's get some Sis here. And I've tried luxury eyeshadows, and Seint eyeshadows are better to me because Dior reformulated everything to make everything natural ingredients, naturally derived, and they're getting a lot of complaints about their eyeshadows. They're not as buttery smooth as they used to be. I've heard recently about the Prisme Libre powder from, is it Givenchy, where they took the talc out trying to make it more natural, and people just don't like the new reformulation. So Seint, I don't use the word clean. I don't throw that around a lot, but they use bare minimum ingredients in their products. So they're almost clean, I would say. So I would go ahead and put this on the lower lid. Anything with shimmer you want to keep on your lower lid. I did put a little bit of our Seint color correcting cream on my eyelid. I have on, is this, let me see, do I have it in my palette? Yes, I do. I put on the R1. This is a color correcting cream. I put that all over the lid. And then I put on, oops, let me grab that really quickly. Then I put on the R01 kind of underneath my brow bone, okay? So those two together make a great base for your eyeshadow. So let's kind of blend that away. I love that our compacts have mirrors in them so we can kind of look in the mirror as we apply our shadow. So here we go. Let's try on the Sis. Let's see what this looks like up close. It's a very soft sheen. It's not chunky glitter. It's not chunky metallic foil. It just goes on really smooth. Just gives your eyelid a sheen. Do you guys see that? It kind of brings out the green in my brown eyes. I do have brown eyes. Okay, let's do the other eye. I like this formula. In our eyeshadow range or lineup, we have a lot of different formulas. We have kind of speckled eyeshadows. We have like foiled eyeshadows. We have glitter eyeshadows, matte eyeshadows. There's many different formulas that we offer and a very huge selection of colors. So there's Sis, and that is just gorgeous. Sis has like a pinky neutral tone to it, and as you can see, it brings out the green in my eyes. Okay, now I'm going to try the Snowbird, which is a shimmer brown, beautiful color. This is something that I grab or gravitate a lot towards, and I just kind of take a little bit of that. Now this is going to go on a little bit heavier, so I'm going to use this kind of on the outer edge of my lower lid, not taking it onto this skin up here. I'm going to take the Snowbird here. Very good. Isn't that pretty? Do the other side. Really, really love our eyeshadows. And they're so easy having them all in one palette. So there's the snowbird. I am going to just kind of use my hand to wipe off the shimmer. So we do sell a brush cleaning tile that you can pop into your palette. I just don't have that with me right now, but that would kind of take the shimmer off the brush, and then we can reuse this. We do have a wonderful brush cleaner as well that I'm currently out of. So there's lots of ways that you can clean your brush. Now we're going to go in with the basic color. This is a matte kind of milk chocolate brown. We're going to use that kind of in the crease here. This is the area where I don't want to have shimmer. And I'm doing kind of a windshield wiper, you know, application. This is gorgeous. This is like a soft daytime smoky eye. I love that. And I don't normally reach for these more neutral colors when I'm doing my eyes. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really do like 4 colors for the eyes. I usually try to get done and out of the house. So it's kind of nice to do it. But when I do a full eye with 3 or more colors, get lots of compliments. Okay, so now this is where you would flip your brush over and just kind of blend everything downwards. You don't want to blend it up. You want to have a brighter area underneath your brow. Now, nowadays we do not use shimmer eyeshadow under the brow. It just looks dated. It brings out wrinkles and texture, so try not to do that. All right, now I'm going to stick with this side of the brush. We're not going back to this side. And we're going to do the Mama, which is a gorgeous color. You can wear this by itself. It looks great alone, but it's a great transition color. So this is going to blend that milk chocolate brown and gradiate this area from brown to skin tone a little bit easier. So I'm just going to go into the Mama, and we're just going to kind of add this, not all the way to the brow. We want to leave a little bit of skin tone showing underneath that brow. It's going to soften everything up. Such a nice matte pinky tone. And that just gives me a really pretty finished looking eye. And of course, what I like to do is I like to use our Black Friday eyeliner, our Black Friday eyeliner. So I'm going to pop this into my palette. Let's see where I can put it. I'm going to pop this in just like that. And now I have my eyeliner in my palette. I'm going to use our new On Point brush. This is my favorite brush for applying eyeliner. My favorite brush is right here. So I'm going to just take this into the eyeliner. And it's the same brush on both sides. I use one brush to line and one end to soften. I'm just going to give myself a little bit of definition using the creamy side. And you can do kind of like a little bit broader stroke near the outer corner of your eye, just to give it kind of a winged look without having the cat wing sticking out. See how it goes from thin to thick? I love that. It makes your eyes look really youthful. And then I just used the empty side, the side that I did not dip into the product, and I just kind of play with it a little bit, kind of blend it out a little bit. And then I go to the other side and look at the difference in my eyes. This has like a wide open look. This one looks more tired, more closed. And then I'm going to come in here. I do a very thin line near my tear duct, and then it just kind of gets thicker as we work our way outwards. I'm going to get a little bit more product. Trying to keep this video not too long. I want to get to the point. I want to get to our new product. So just showing you the sugar. Oh, cream and sugar. That's what it's called. This is the cream and sugar collection. Could not think of it. Okay, does it look even? How does it look? Looks pretty good. we can always go back and finesse. Now for the bottom of my eye, I like to do a powder because the Black Friday will smear on you, especially in Florida. This is a gorgeous palette. This is our Emerald City, I believe, collection, but I think this is still available. Uh-oh, I don't have one of the brown pigments. I usually use a brown eyeshadow. So why don't we try, the Juniper is a really gorgeous eyeliner. It looks, you know, very intense green, but it's gonna blend into my lower lash line beautifully. So let's try that. I'm just gonna take the drier end of my on point brush and use this color just to kind of accentuate the lower lash line. And you're thinking, wow, how is that gonna work? Green with all of those neutral colors, but you'll see how soft this goes on. See that? Kind of just makes my eye look so much bigger too. And then I use my finger and just make sure that it's kind of loaded on there, but without pulling my eye down too much. See the difference in the shape of the eye? It looks a lot bigger over here. And it's green. So you could use brown eyeshadow. We have brown pigments. The pigments are going to last longer than our eyeshadows, but you can totally use our eyeshadows with the on point brush to do this. Let me see, which side was the side that I used? This one right here. So that one is called Juniper. It's one of our pressed pigments, and they are fabulous for using as eyeliners. You don't even have to use a setting spray or anything to lock them on. They're just gonna stain and stay in place. And then I use my clean finger on this hand just to kind of clean it up a little bit. Now on to my favorite eye mascara products. So currently I am using the Crescent Moon Lash Curler from Seint. This is my favorite. We have two. We have a half moon and we have a crescent moon. This is my favorite. And then these are my two favorite mascaras. We have the Lash Velvet for volumizing and the tubing mascara. This is the Lash Leather. These are my favorite. The Lash Feather or the Feather Lash, it doesn't really give me enough volume. It's beautiful at separating. So I would recommend the Lash Feather or the Feather Lash mascara from Seint for people who like that ultra natural, separated, fine-haired mascara look. If you like volume and chunkiness, you might like these mascaras better. So I'm going to take this lash curler, and my lashes curl pretty easily, so I'm just going to kind of go right in the middle of the lash. And the Crescent Moon lash curler from Seint is a perfect fit for my eye socket. I thought I would like the half moon curling product better, but it was too deep of a curve. It's going to be for someone that really has a large eye socket and very deep set eyes. And I just kind of pump this and it curls it amazingly. Now on the top, I like to use our Lash Velvet. This is the Lash Velvet from Seint. And when I first got it, it was really, you know, loaded up with product, and I had to use our lash brush to kind of comb off the extra product. But now after using it several weeks, it's kind of calmed down a bit. But you have to be careful with this wand because it can get on your eyeshadow lid, your eyeshadowed lid very easily. But I don't have to use much of this to get the look I'm looking for. It really volumizes beautifully. You can do your tight lining if you want. I don't usually do tight lining, although it probably would look better. But look at that. Lash Velvet. It's gorgeous. You could do a couple coats. Let me go ahead and do the other side. I do redip my wand for each side. Look at the difference. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous mascara. Loving this look. And I have a product that I highly recommend because I was using the Grande or Grand Lash Serum for my lashes, I had used to wear the lash extensions from Lilac Street, and I still love that company, but I wanted to give my lashes a break because I noticed that my natural hairs were kind of getting very sparse and thin from using lash extensions all the time. So I started using the e.l.f. lash growth serum, and boy does it work. It's amazing. And it doesn't sting like the Grande Lash. The Grande Lash kind of gave me irritation, and it also gave me a little bit of eczema on my upper eyelid. I noticed that my eyelid was kind of drooping a little bit, and they say that's a result of the prostaglandin in the formula. So the e.l.f. does not have that. So I really like the e.l.f. the eyelash serum, and that's like $8. It's really inexpensive. Highly recommend that. So on the upper lid, I have the Lash Velvet. For the bottom, to decrease smearing and smudging, I use our Lash Leather tubing mascara. And I like to use this by itself, like on days I want a more natural look. I will use this on the upper lashes as well. But this is great to lengthen and define your lower lash line without being smudgy or smeary. And then of course with a tubing mascara, you just use warm water at the end of the day. Lash Leather from Seint. I'm so glad that they finally came out with their own mascaras. Perfect. Loving this look. It looks great. You could also use this to further separate and lift over the Lash Velvet mascara. But those two products together, along with the lash curler, give you some beautiful lashes, and I highly recommend those products along with the e.l.f. Okay, so now we are going to do the other products in the palette. So let's start with putting on some of the balm. I'm going to take my finger and just put on a little bit of balm and let it kind of saturate and sink into my lips while we're doing the cheeks. So let's do some of the Boardwalk on the cheeks. I have my favorite brush. This is the Shape brush. It's a gorgeous brush for adding a little bit of blush. I don't like the blush and bronzer brush for blush. It's a little bit larger. Let me show you the difference. So this is the blush and bronzer brush. So this side would be for blush, this one for bronzer. And you just see that this is a little bit more narrow, okay? So I'm just gonna take this brush. I didn't clean it, so let's just make sure we don't have an excess of my previous blush on there. Not very much, is there? And let's use our Boardwalk. Boardwalk is a glossy color. Sometimes I will take my finger. Yeah, I think with this today I'm gonna use my finger because it's very glossy. And I don't like to dip the brush in the gloss formula, but you could. So here's Boardwalk up close. I'm just gonna put some on there. It's very, very light color. Now we can take our brush and kind of bounce that around, and it just has so much glow on its own that you really don't need the illuminator. I'm wondering why they put the illuminator in this palette. I would have put a contour color. Well, I guess if you put a contour color, you would be limiting who could use the palette. So this is already pretty glowy, and usually this is about as much glow as I prefer. So this is just a very light, neutral, everyday blush color. You can see how it just gives a soft airbrush look to the face. It's gorgeous. And then you could use the other end to do some of the Angel, which is a really gorgeous beam of light on this upper cheek area right underneath the outer corner of the eye. It's really pretty. So I like that. I like that they included that. And I'm someone that doesn't normally do this extra step, but you know, for Mother's Day or special occasion, it's really nice. You could also use a little bit on the center of the nose. It just gives a nice little glow there. Wherever you want a little bit extra glow. You could go above the brow. People are going to be complimenting your complexion. Okay, gorgeous. Now, bronzer. This is going to make everything look finished, and it's going to come together so nicely. Bella bronzer. I like to flip the brush over to the large side. I kind of pinch it a little bit, and I just make sure that I get it on both sides of the brush, and then I take it and I use my bronzer kind of like right in this area. Okay, so my contour is going to be lower, my bronzer is going to be higher. So I like to start like right here near the ear, and this just kind of unifies the complexion. Everything kind of looks finished. So see this side of my face with the bronzer has this gorgeous tan look, where this is more bright over here. And then you could also take it kind of underneath here to blend your contour a little bit more. Kind of go underneath the jawbone and blend down. Bella bronzer is such a gorgeous bronzer. I just don't reach for powders much anymore. I do like a powder for my T-zone, but everywhere else, these products look the prettiest. And I do love our blush bronzer brush. This is so pretty. So I think the bronzer is important because these are, you know, Boardwalk is so light that you really do need the bronzer. Okay, isn't that just pretty? Very, very pretty. Okay, so now we are finished with the Cream and Sugar collection. $99 for all of this. And then you have a second layer, which will be empty. Mine has product in it. Let's do a little bit of the powder, actually. We have the Feather Dust blotting powder, which I stupidly dropped on the floor, but it's still intact. I like to take our powder brush. We sell this powder brush. It's great. I prefer this end, I think. And I'm going to take this and just kind of go into the T-zone and underneath my eyes just to kind of set. Got something there. It's always a good idea to just press any concealer or color corrector that's under your eyes in a little bit further before you powder. So just kind of press it in and then go in with your powder. We do sell two powders at Seint. We have the vanilla dust, which is good for people that want a matte finish. And then we have the feather dust, which is good for people that want a blurring, radiant finish. So I do love our vanilla dust in the height of the summer when things get really sweaty and hot. All right, so there we go. We're done with the complexion. Now on to the new lip. What are they called? Have no idea. Let's see what they're called. Have not opened this yet. So this is the label, and it tells me what the name of the product is. Lip Tints. They're called Lip Tints. We have Pinky, Berry, Poppy, Cherry, and Jam. So 5 colors, and they're a lip tint, and I'm hearing that on some people they do leave a stain on the lip, so that's going to be helpful. And then we have our new lip whip, and then I bought myself a new brush cleaner. So we're going to open the package and we're going to get into these new products. So this is how they come. The lip tints come in this packaging and they have the color at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to line these up on the window seal. We're going to try them out. And then we have the new Lip Whip, which is a very moisturizing lip product. And this has like an ombre package similar to the Mother's Day palette. And then my brush cleaner, which I love. I love that. It has like a birthday cake scent. It's awesome, and it instantly cleans your brushes. So let's do a little bit. I know I have my balm on. That's another lip moisturizer, but this is the lip whip. And this is going to have, I think, a flavor or a smell to it. It comes in a tube if you prefer like a tube application. Love the packaging on this. Let me see, I don't smell anything right off the bat, but let's see what this looks like. I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. It's got like a pearlescent, can you see that? Pearlescent look to it. It is a little bit sticky. It reminds me of Vaseline almost. So let's see what this feels like on the lips. Let's see what it does. So I'm gonna take my gorgeous palette here and put this on. Let's try it. Gotta get out of the shadow here. Now the applicator has a curve to it. Do you see that? So I'm not used to that. Kind of hugs the lips, and you don't need a lot. I don't notice a smell at all. It feels really good. It's sticky on your fingers, but it's not sticky on the lips. And this is the finish by itself. It does bring out your natural lip color. So if you're a lip balm person, you'd probably like this, but this is gonna be for heavy moisturizing. I wasn't sure if I was gonna purchase this, but I felt for my customers I needed to just kind of let you know what's in it. Let me see if I can get my glasses on and see what the ingredients are real quick. These are my Pair Eyewear glasses. I love them. So in this formula we have, let me see, I used to read ingredients all the time. So there's shea butter, candela wax, carnauba wax, there's fragrance, which I don't smell. So if you are someone that shies away from products that have fragrance, I don't notice any fragrance in this. It has rosa canina fruit oil, sunflower seed oil, olive fruit oil, coconut oil, vitamin E or tocopherol acetate, water, and vanilla planifolia fruit extract. So I guess it's just really oily. Don't know much about these ingredients, like how good they are for the lips, but that's a nice layer of hydration on your lips. So how is this going to affect the stains? Let's see. I am going to go ahead and apply, going from lightest to darkest. Let's start with pinky. So here's the pinky lip tint. These are the products that we've been waiting to see. Okay. There is a little window that shows on the outside. Let's do a swatch first. Let's see. I'm going to put it, let's see. I'm going to put these like right here. There's pinky. Okay, let's just go through all of them and open them up. Then we have poppy, I believe. We have poppy, that's the next one. There's poppy. Okay. Wow, that's more pigmented for sure. We're gonna try to keep these in order too. Then we have cherry. Didn't know that we had a cherry. Not sure which one is going to be brighter. Is it the cherry or the poppy? Cherry is more sheer. Poppy is more red. So we'll put cherry before poppy. And then we have berry. There's 5 colors. There's berry. Something for everybody. I don't really notice a strong smell on these either. So sheer berry tone, not too purple though. And then we finally have our last color, which is jam. I wanted to definitely try all of them. for my clientele. Oh, you can't even see the window on this one. It's so dark. Okay. Okay, so they're lip tints. They're just sheer, but they have more pigment than the lip oils. So lip oils, once you try all of our colors, you're going to be like, I could really, you know, get away with one because they all sheer out so much. And these are going to hopefully stain. I'm going to let these sit a little bit on the lips and see what happens. So let's start with our first color, which is pinky, and apply that. I'm going to go ahead and get my mirror so I can see up close. So pinky, I don't really notice a smell at all. We're just going to do one dip. I'm moving in. Let me move this curtain out of the way. Can see that they have grip. They do grab onto the lip and they're kind of slick, but the shine is there, possibly because of the lip whip product underneath. But it is more like a stain. If you're familiar with stains, like the Benefit, I believe. Yeah, the Benefit stain. You can build this up. Okay, so this is the color Pinky, and it is really pretty. You could pair this up with a lip liner. Let's do one more dip. Let's do one more dip of the Pinky and just see how these build. Okay, Pinky. Let me step back with my outfit. Pinky. Okay, Pinky. It's really pretty. Probably pair it up with a lip liner. Now let me go get something to wipe this off. Okay, let's just wipe it off and try another color. There's the product. And there is a stain left on the lip. So you could use these as a stain and then put a gloss over the top. Let's try cherry. Let's try cherry. We got our cherry. Wow, one application and I love it. I love this color. And they kind of remind me of the Dior lip tints, the stains. They kind of have that consistency. They're very thin on the lips. They're moisturizing. They're not matte. They're not shiny. They're perfect. I like this. I do like having a wand applicator rather than putting my finger in a product. I don't even think I need another layer, but let's just try it. Because one layer is perfect. So there's the cherry. I love it. Gorgeous. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to get this one off. They definitely stain. You're going to have to kind of rub at the product. It's not going to come off. So I don't know how accurate the next few colors are going to be because it left a stain. This is going to be awesome for people that want their Seint lip color to last all day. Now we're going to go to Poppy. See how this compares to Cherry, because Cherry was always already pretty bright. Poppy is going to be, I think, more orangey. where the cherry was more blue red. This is kind of brighter. Kind of like pop, I guess. Oh wow, I like both of them. I would say you probably just need one of the two. You don't need both. And I'm not gonna put 2 layers of it on because it doesn't really make a difference because it already is very saturated. This is gorgeous. I think I prefer this color. Okay, wow. So this one is this one. I don't know how that one built up so red. Gorgeous. Love the reds. The pinky's pretty too, but I don't normally wear like a bubblegum pink on my lips. I don't normally do that. We'll probably be okay with the next few colors because they're kind of more in that darker plummy category. This one is the berry. So again, I think you could probably get away with one of the 3 of these because they're very similar. These are just an absolutely fabulous formula. Great job, Seint. I love the feel. It almost has the same smoothness as the lip whip, but with color. So possibly the lip whip would be something for people that don't want color, that just want the moisture. And the shine. Wow, it really stains. That's awesome. You could use these and then use your Seint lip glosses over the top to get different effects. And then lastly, this is the jam. I'm hoping that this is deeper and not so red. Oh, good. This is your 90s plum. You can kind of line the lips with this wand. It's nice and precise. Okay, so those are all of the lip colors. This is the plum. But I think I like the poppy and the cherry the best. Those are so pretty. Those are gorgeous. And of course you could layer, you could mix and match. This is jam. Jam. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, because my eyes are so soft, is I'm gonna blot away the jam. And I instead kind of use these as like a staining lip mask. Kind of like those peel off stains. So now my lips are tinted, but there's no shine on the lip. I'm gonna rehydrate using the lip whip. I'm gonna add back some moisture since I basically exfoliated my lips. Just a little bit, because the boardwalk is very shiny. And then I'm gonna go in with my finger, just get a little bit of the boardwalk. And that's what it looks like over the jam. Kind of lighten it back up. And as I'm applying this, it's kind of lightening up the stain underneath, so it's good. You don't need a lot. That is really pretty. And finally, I know you're asking, what do these look like on the cheeks? Let's do a little bit more color on the cheeks. Let's try the pinky on the cheeks. This lip tint we're gonna put on the cheeks. Let's just try it, just to see. Use my finger. Wow, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So this is gonna leave like a stain or a tint on your cheeks. And I know that the poppy would look absolutely gorgeous as well. But you could use any of these on both the lips and the cheeks because it really gives you a pop of color where the boardwalk was so subtle. Okay, so there we go. We have it. We're just under an hour. I hope not to be an hour, so that's an accomplishment. We had a lot of newness to share. So don't forget, if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. If you don't have a Seint artist already, and even if you do have a Seint artist and they haven't advertised these products for you and you'd like to help me out, you may use my affiliate link to purchase anything Seint. Let's go ahead and try to swipe. So there you see, I was told that these are not a stain. They are a stain. They're a stain. So there you go. If you want a stain, Seint has one. They're called the lip tints. All right, we are signing off. So everybody have a wonderful Saturday, and please comment below if you have any questions. All right, if you need a color match, if you need a Seint artist, let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.